Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The doctor strike is still going on in the country, as KMPDU is now imagining with another story that there is no one to consider them anymore. As all these things are happening, I have a story here to share with the nation, coming from the nation, as I am just displaying it. The return of Kenya Kwanza Tower of Babel. Do you recall when I analyzed the Tower of Babel falling? And that is why I am very much impressed seeing the return of the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel is the government of President Ruto. Now they are returning and coming out with another message to Kenyans. Furthermore, it is still carrying on by saying, a worrying trend has cast doubt on the much heralded one government approach championed by the regime. So there is not still hope on the doctor strike to come to an end. That is why we are now seeing Doctors Union are now still raising a lot of questions and asking the government if they are going to agree to each other. I ask myself, what makes the government not to pay the doctors? What makes the government not to pay the doctors? Are Kenyans not paying taxes enough to pay the doctors? Because these are the people who are very much important in the country. Also, because they treat Kenyans who are sick, they treat the cabinet secretary who are sick, they treat the president if president is sick. We are all human beings. We do get sick. But why are now not agreeing with the doctors? Even if they can try and pay them 65%, I think that will be good enough for them. Even 84%. Because the same government denying doctors payment is the same government planning to purchase new jet to the president. And I analyzed that again. When the people like Kimani Chungwa standing out publicly in the National Assembly and demanding the purchase of the new jet to the government department.
Critical thing really, that the two most critical thing, one of them is that internship issue, which we didn't discuss because we had opposite views on it. We want them to be posted as per the CBA. They want us to wait for a court process, which can take 2 years, can take 3 years, because we do not have control over that. We only have control over our collective bargaining agreement, which is a court order. Yes.
You say tomorrow you have a meeting with
yes.
the government to find way forward. Maybe if, just a message to assure Kenyans, if maybe tomorrow you don't agree, what's your next step as a union?
You know, we always don't presume things. We are on strike, and then to end strike needs a return to work formula. And unless a return to work formula is signed, strike is on. So we need a return to work formula that aligns to the issue that you are demanding, that aligns to the aspirations of every doctor across the country, from Mandera to Migori to Lamu to Nairobi. Basically, that's what we need. And those sort of take place. It's not like a brokerage issue. It's an issue of what did you go on strike for? Are we getting that? Are they within the CBA? We are not creating anything new. But then in that particular strike that we have been, there is a foundation, the things that sparks emotion in the heart of every doctor, the issue of medical interns. We can't wish it away. It has to be resolved. It can't wait next month. It can't wait for next year. We just need we just need a mechanism to solve it. I know they say there's no money, but can it be planned that they go? They have to come. We have to come away. Because I say that there's a progress now as from before because we are talking. And some of the solutions cannot be sorted in 3 days or 4 days talk. That's why we have to look into what they're offering. We look into what we discussed and see to them that are they within the front line that
From the video clip I have just displayed, it is now very clear that KMPDU are not still agreeing with the government. And this is the failure of Kenya Kwanza regime. I can say it that way. Because they are saying that government to soften stance on doctors' interns. But have they softened this stance? And KMPDU is saying that we don't call off strikes at night. We don't strike for fun. They don't call strike at night. And they don't also strike for fun. It means these people are serious and demanding their money or their salary to be increased. As this is happening also, Moses Kuria came out in public and saying that workers should now begin working in contract, which some were proposing this, some were opposing this. But I don't want to go beyond that. My main concern is that what is the problem between the doctors and the government? That is whatever we want to clarify here. Kwa nini wameshindwa kulipa madaktari? What is the problem? Because the video clip I've just displayed is going to form the basis of our analysis. Before I carry on, ladies and gentlemen, may I take this golden chance to thank you very much for your great support to this channel. I want to thank the new subscribers who tune in and subscribe to our channel. I want to say thank you very much, and please consider to give this video a thumb of like. When you like this video, it will reach several people in the YouTube community. And if this might be your first time again watching me at Zan Kenya TV YouTube channel, I request you just take a 1 second and click that subscription button and subscribe to our channel. I want to appreciate members and I want to adore you for standing firm with this channel. May God bless you so much. It is my hope and prayer that this analysis at this point is going to find you well wherever you are. Let's proceed with whatever is taking place. So, the doctor strike under Madam Susan Nakumisha administration is still going on. I don't know if Susan Nakumisha is the one failing to listen to the doctors, or together with President Ruto, because they are the ones who are now in the government. Why don't they just tell a meeting? Having a meeting with the doctors, how many hours, how many minutes does it take? And they make it to agreement. Because the truth of the matter is that Kenyans are suffering. For those who are capable enough to take their families or their siblings to private hospitals are the ones who are gonna survive. But what about Kenyans who cannot even afford the meals and put on the table on a daily basis? Those are the people who are now fighting for and asking the government to make a change and be in good terms with the doctors, because public doctors working on the government sectors have called for a strike, and that strike is still carrying on. From the video I've just displayed, we are listening to KMPDU demanding for their rights, demanding for the agreement. Then if that agreement fails, then they are still going to carry on with the strike. Remember, they have said that they are not striking for fun. So it means that these people are still not in agreement with the government. That is whatever we want to ask ourselves. Why are they not in agreement with Madam Susan Nakumisha? What might be wrong on the other side of Madam Susan Nakumisha department? Number one thing that I know, Susan Nakumisha did a mistake by saying that he can hire other doctors and fire the ones who are going for strike. That is the first mistake Madam Susan Nakumisha did. Truth to be told is that Cabinet Secretary under Kenya Kwanza regime have failed and lack skills to understand whatever they are doing in their department. They're the ones maybe even giving the president wrong direction. And if the president himself is the one making the direction, the strength or opinion on his own department, like Moi. You see, Moi was making the opinion on himself, and he failed Kenyans terribly. So that is whatever Ruto wants to do in the country. In any case, is making decision on his own. As a president, you must listen to the people. That is why Constitution is well explained that when we make Constitution's amendment, people's consent are sought for the decision making. If they are made for the decision making, then why leaders are now coming out and not agreeing to each other? Doctors are very important people in the country. Teachers are very important people in the country. Farmers are very important people in the country. Any person with skills and knowledge in different departments is very important person in the country. So it must force the government to sit down, seek advices from any other person who is eligible enough to make advice to the government sector. So we are now listening to KMPDU saying that strike is still on. Sasa sahi, Kenya is experiencing another crisis, flood. When flood is in the country, we are now reaching to the starvation. When the country is starved with hunger, it leads to diseases. So when we have disease in the country, it's very clear that our country is heading into a wrong direction. So the doctors must come together with President Ruto to listen to each other and agreed to go back to work. I think that is the best thing and the best solution they must do to ensure that our country is safe. That is whatever they must now sort out with immediate effect. For any person who cannot treat himself or herself, any family must now seek any treatment from the public hospital. That is why these people voted for those who are working in the government. And this marks the end of our analysis. What can you say on this KMPDU return issuing another threat to the government? I'm eagerly waiting for your opinion at the comment section below.